It's Ryan here, and I'm gonna share with you how to turn this into a smoke machine skeleton type Reaper costume. So as you can see here, I am blowing the smoke like nobody's business right now, and I have no wires hooked up to me. That's because I figured out how to hook up a smoke machine to a car battery. And I have LED lights that you can see that are flashing. My face is covered, you can't see me. I also have gloves that are just like a skeleton type glove with a black cloak, and it's all wirelessly controlled by a remote. So anytime I want to blast the old smoke machine when I'm walking around, I can just, with a click of a button, blow out a crazy amount of smoke and literally cover a whole street. So let me share with you what all you're gonna need to pull this off. So the first thing you're gonna need is some form of mask. So this just happens to be a skeleton mask. Any kind of mask that's like this will do. I would recommend something that covers the whole entire head like this. Now what we have here are LEDs that are flickering to kind of give that flicker effect. Well, on the inside, we have these taped with just black tape, and then wire, any kind of regular old wire will work. I'll share with you that. Link is in the description for everything here. Then you're gonna need a power supply. So you're gonna need a power supply that goes from the power to power these eyeballs. Some form of glove, you know, skeleton type glove or whatever you want to do. And then when it comes to the battery power, you have two options. The ideal option is to use a battery like this, like an Optima style battery, because this is a sealed battery. This battery is completely sealed. You can turn it upside down, turn it sideways. It's used in a lot of car audio and different things, and it is a really good overall battery for, I use in all my cars. But the biggest, one of the big things about this is it doesn't leak. Now, I'm going to share with you the alternate, which would be, and this battery is way too big, but I'm just going to use it for this example. You don't need a massive, like this has got some serious cold cranking amps on it, like way more than you need, because all you're going to be doing is powering this smoke machine. But I'm just using this from an example standpoint because I've been playing around with this for so long, the actual battery died. Cool thing about these as well is that they can be recharged using a device that looks like this. So if you're worried about draining your battery and all that stuff, because it's obviously not hooked up to a vehicle that's got an alternator, this is a game changer. This C-Tech battery charger is a game changer. I actually have it hooked up to my riding lawnmower. Because I don't drive it that often and I'm needing to use it. But there's a whole bunch of different settings, car, motorcycle, and it has AGM, which is for like gel batteries, like the Optima, or regular batteries, and there's a recondition button on there. Pretty much allows you to take a battery that's like been shot, it's dead, and it'll bring it back to life. I use it all the time, it's fantastic. So you get your battery, and then you're gonna need this little contraption right here. This is a 750W. It's by this company. The link will be in the description of this. But this is a power inverter. This converts 12 volt to 120 volt. Because this has got like your regular power outlet. This is like something just like a regular power outlet you plug into the wall. But to be mobile, you don't have cords, you need to convert 12 volts to this. Now, I have tried using a smaller like lawnmower battery just to see if it would produce enough power, and I have been unable to do that. At least with the battery, the lawnmower battery that I have, like the little smaller ones. So when we get into the weight of this all makes sense. Then you're gonna need some of these LED lights like this. Again, link is in the description. Got these off of Amazon, and that's what's gonna be the actual eyeballs that we just mentioned here. You're gonna need some juice for the old fog machine. This would just be like backup, I can explain that later. But then your fog machine, you wanna get the type that has a wireless option. So this one can be plugged in and managed by an actual wired remote, or you can use this because look, you just click a button, it smokes, hit hit the button, it turns off. This is gonna be the game changer as far as how you get all this stuff set up, because when you're walking around, you may not want the smoke going all the time. You might wanna walk up to somebody and surprise them and then just smoke the heck out of them. And primarily this was used in a trick-or-treating with the kids. And so I was walking up to the house and with my kids dressed up, because I like to dress up with my kids. Then I would just stand there and they're like, oh, it's kind of a spooky costume, whatever. And then I would just blast them and the whole driveway would just like fill up with smoke, and everybody actually loved it. I didn't know anybody. I thought some people might get upset. But they were like, oh, wow, that's crazy, because who's expecting somebody to walk around with a smoke machine? Now, you're gonna need a couple other small things. You're gonna need 2 backpacks. One, because you're gonna carry the smoke machine in the front, which you'll see, I'll show you. And then a second backpack that is gonna carry the battery on your back. Now, this is not the costume for somebody that doesn't have some strength. Like, you're gonna have to have a little strength to do this. Again, I'm just using this battery from a display standpoint, but I was using this Optima battery, which, I don't know, that probably weighs 40 pounds or so, and it puts some stress on the whole back here, you know what I'm saying? And then you're gonna need some kind of like black cloak or something to kind of give you that kind of spooky, you know, vibe or whatever. So let me put this together. I'm gonna record me assembling it and show you how this looks. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. First thing we're gonna create is this. And so you're gonna take this, there's a link in the description for one, but any kind of like 12 volt one of these with 2 wires, with the one that has 2 wires, and you're gonna you're just gonna cut it off. Then you're gonna take these LED lights, just come individual like this. That's what these flickering ones are. And then you're just going to kind of, you know, you're just gonna connect the 2. You can use like the little screw nuts or whatever. It really doesn't matter. Connect the 2, and you're gonna basically do 2 at the same time, because you got 2 eyeballs. So you're gonna connect 2 black wires together, 2 yellow wires together. So you're gonna connect these. You're gonna strip them. You're gonna spin them together. And then you're gonna, after you cut this, you're gonna connect it one on each side, plug it in. If it doesn't work, just flip the wire that it's connected to, and then you're good to go. Biggest thing is got to make sure it is a 12 volt power supply. So you can, again, I put a link in the description, but you would just look at the back of this and it'll say 12 volt. So now you got that all wired up. You're gonna plug that into the power converter. But I would test it, make sure it's illuminated and all that stuff. Then, because these have little wires inside them, which is convenient. On the inside of this, you're just gonna bend the wires. And so these wires in here will bend a little bit, and you're gonna run it all the way. Then you're pretty much done. You're done with this whole thing. This will slip on over your head, but you're gonna have something to cover your eyes. And so this is some material that I found. Actually sewed a little bit. And I just sewed it together, but you could see my hands. But when I put it over my head, like this, you can kind of see it. But when I put the mask on, because the lights are shining, they cast a shadow behind it. So now you can't see my eyes, but you have this glow effect with these. And then you just kind of bend them to get like pointed where you're at, you know, but being that my head is covered, it kind of gives it more of a spooky, you know, you just adjust it to where it fits. And I can see just fine. So now you got these, there's no installation, you just slip the gloves on, you're good to go as far as that, So then how you wire this comes with these connections. And so you just take these, and you're gonna get some screws, and you're gonna have to use a clamp or something to. Now you're gonna need to clamp these to your battery terminals. There's a link in the description for the ones that I have on here. These are actually these are like quick disconnect for batteries. Anything that will work, but I put a link in the description for some that will definitely work. And then you just tighten them on there, and you're good to go. It's a short cable, doesn't really matter. It's no big deal. And then you're gonna be plugging a power in. So you have this one. This goes to your lights on your skull mask, and then the power to the smoke machine goes right here. So this is just testing everything and make sure everything works. You put your fog juice and all that stuff in there, test it out with the remote. Now you're good to go. Now you need to put it on. All right, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna put a hole in the bottom of, just a small hole right in the center of the bottom of the backpack that's going to be facing, it's going to be mounted here, because the smoke machine is going to go right in there, and this tip right here gets pretty hot, and you want that right here out of it pointing down. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, it gets really hot, am I going to burn, something below my waist? From my experience, no. Everything, the tip gets warm, but nothing's actually touching that. All right, let's put this thing on. Now, it would be much easier to do with 2 people, somebody helping you, but it can be done by yourself. So that's what it looks like with the backpack on and the front pack on. Make sure this is not obstructed, because if that gets pressed, it's going to turn on. And you want to make sure, reconfirm the hole is poking out the bottom while it's not blowing smoke because it's hot. So right now I'm completely mobile. Backpack, smoke machine. I can hear the converters on. It has a very light humming sound to it. I can test the smoke machine. So I can see it shooting straight down, which is what I want. Now I'm gonna put on the black sheet that's gonna cover my face, the mask, and then the cloak goes on last. Now everything is put together. So this effect, you probably would want to wear like a black undershirt, black long sleeve shirt, black pants, black shoes, just to give the full effect. And then I just hold this in my hand, nobody can see it. And then when I want to blast it, I blast it.